So what does mission mean to me? Well, the idea of mission is evolving, isn't it? Mission now and evangelization, a new word that was strange to us not so long ago, but now a word with which Catholics are becoming fairly familiar. We can all remember decades ago when mission simply meant the foreign missions. It was about the church in the developing world. It was about the missionary priests and sisters who had gone to the developing world, to Africa, to Asia, to maybe to South America, to preach the gospel to those who had never heard of it, and then to build up the church through the building of parishes, schools, seminaries, hospitals, so that the gospel could reach those people and bring them the joy of the good news. And that remains the case, doesn't it? That's still a wonderful thing as a bishop, and being involved with SCIAF and Missio, which is our Scottish missionary endeavours, the Church's Scottish missionary endeavours, and also with other charities like Mary's Meals. I'm able to, not just to see, but to be able to go to countries where the Church's has a contribution to mission, to see where all of your contributions and your second collections at Sunday Mass go, and I hear from people and priests and bishops the wonderful difference that is making. What I also find there is a tremendous vibrancy in the church, that the faith is alive. The churches are full and overflowing. Masses last 3 hours but feel as though they only lasted 10 minutes, and there's choirs and there's colours and there's joy and there's music, and there's a wonderful culture that is inspired by the faith. But the recent popes have encouraged us to think about mission at home. Pope St. Paul the Sixth reminded us the church exists to evangelise, that you and I are Christians not for ourselves but to evangelise. I had an old uncle who was a Jesuit brother who would come and see us once a year, full of fun and always pulling our legs. And when I was a teenager, he used to come, and when I came into the living room, he'd see me and he'd put on a stern face and he said, "John, are you keeping the faith?" And he would put the fear of God into me, and I'd say, "Oh yes, Brother John, I'm keeping the faith." And then his face would transform in fun and say, "I will. You shouldn't be keeping it, you should be spreading it." The idea of mission, God didn't give us the faith for ourselves, He gave us the faith to spread, and that means that in our parishes, it means in our homes and our families, spreading the faith. So mission now means also at home. It means the mission to each one of us, because we can always be evangelized. Every one of us can be evangelized. Every one of us continues to need to hear the good news, to be fed and be uplifted by the good news. But we've all got family members who, for one reason or another, have wandered away from the faith. We used to call them lapsed Catholics, but our first mission is to them. It's just by example, isn't it? It's by friendship, it's by reaching out to them, it's by the simple things, saying, I'll pray for you for this, or I'll pray for you for that, or I'll light a candle for you. Someone who might have left the faith for whatever reason, but we say, I'll light a candle, I'd be grateful, I'll say a rosary for you, thank you. Just reaching out, being open, so that they might come back. And then beyond that, there are many people now in Scotland. Scotland is no longer a Christian country, because most of our fellow Scots don't know Jesus, don't know about Christ. So mission evangelisation is in Scotland, isn't it? It's all the different ways that we can reach out to bring the gospel values of holiness, of life, of love, of justice, of grace, of peace, to bring all those values into our culture. So for me, mission means everything. St. Paul just said, "Woe to me if I don't preach the gospel." And so for me, to be a Christian means to be an evangelist.